Hello, everyone who has joined us so far. My name is Charles Abou Saab from Morgan International. Joining me on this session is my colleague Rabie Ibrahim from the IMA. We will be introducing ourselves further in a few minutes. So thank you for joining, and we're just going to allow a few more minutes for a few more of your colleagues to join us. Thank you. All right. So thank you again for joining. That's quite a healthy attendance. It's inspiring to see that many people with us here. So again, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Charles Abou Saab. I'm a regional commercial manager with Morgan International, who we will be introducing a little bit later. Also with me on this activity is Mr. Rabie Ibrahim from the Institute of Management Accountants. He's Relationship and Development Manager for Middle East and North Africa. Mr. Rabia will have a chance to explain to you a good section relevant to the IMA and the CMA exam. So let's kick this forward. And if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the chat. And if you look at the bottom of your screen with the tabs within Zoom, there's the raise hand button. So close to the end, we will have a good amount of time to allow you to ask any further questions, but keep them coming within the chat throughout this webinar, and we will answer them as we go, and whatever is left to the end, we will answer it then. So thank you so much for your cooperation and hoping you enjoy it. So going forward, let's start off with the purpose of today's meeting. It's navigating the future of management, accounting, and finance. So as the name indicates, it's about management primarily. So we're going to be discussing a couple of certifications that are offered by the IMA in relevance to management, accounting, and finance. So just a quick brief on today's plan. We're going to start off with a quick, we started off with a quick introduction. We're going to take a look at the skills outlook and what is in demand in terms of skills in the future. Then we're going to discuss a little bit the management, accounting, and finance career and how professional certifications can fill the gap between academic learning and the in-demand skills for the job market. We're going to give you a quick comparison between the CMA and the FMAA certification, the Certified Management Accountant, and the Financial and Managerial Accounting Associate certifications. So then we're going to show you how these can contribute to your personal development, personal improvement, and fitting the in-demand skills for the job market. And then my colleague will be introducing the Institute of Management Accountants and some insights about the CMA examination and the FMAA examination in particular. And in the end, we're going to just give you a quick brief about us, Morgan International, and how we can help you prepare for these certifications, and a quick announcement at the end with a small Q&A session. So moving forward, the skills outlook for the future. This is where we talk about what you think will be in-demand skills for employers and what skills employees will be required to have in the future. So with the effect of globalization, and now with everything online and everything interconnected, every country is connected to the other. Most companies have branches in multiple countries, etc. So this effect requires a certain number of technical skills that are needed in terms of regulations in different countries, regulations in different fields of work or aspects of work. And then there's also the remote work and flexibility that also requires a certain set of skills, which we will go over in order for employees and organizations to be even more performant. And especially when we tackle the soft skills of the future, we definitely will be highlighting the adaptability, the problem-solving abilities, and emotional intelligence especially. So what roles will be most needed in the future, and what roles are becoming less and less in demand? So what, based on certain statistics and experiences that we've had in the job market and the certification field, financial analysts, controllers, management accountants, CFOs, financial leaders, these are highly in-demand skills. So every organization is requiring certain people who can perform these functions within that organization. And we're going to discuss even why later on. And emerging demand is especially for data analysis, now that everything is reliant on data and big data, and how to analyze that data, be able to draw professional and informed decisions from this data, and of course everything becoming relevant on information systems technology, so people need to be savvy. And now with the compliance and sustainability issues and everything going on in the world in terms of sustainability, be it environmental, social, and how to govern all these criteria and metrics. And less in demand, or if you want to say, as we call it, facing challenges, they are the traditional transactional roles in sales and compliance and regulator roles, as well as basic financial reporting and specialized roles. So there's less and less demand for these narrowed down functions. As much as they are important, there is more demand for people who can be multidisciplinary and actually perform more functions and more cross-functional aspects of the business. Okay, so the top 10 in-demand skills since 2023. Well, of course, some of them have been becoming more and more in demand previously, but as of 23, there has been a true highlight of these 10 most in-demand skills. First and foremost, we talk about analytical and creative thinking. So even companies that didn't usually need someone who has analytical thinking are now having more in demand of such skills based on the functions that they perform, their relevance on data especially, and market studies, be it in marketing, be it in supply chain, distribution, whatever it is. The analytical and creative thinking skills are more and more in demand. Resilience, flexibility, and agility. Of course, it's about adaptability. Everything is changing, and we're going to see later a fun slide about that. So motivation and self-awareness. So people need to understand their own performance functions and limitations and actually figure out what they can do better to perform on a specific job. How can they actually not perform the job better as per se, but what they can do differently to be able to meet the requirements of how this job needs to be performed now and in the future. We will go through a little bit more details on this to make it clarified. Definitely technological literacy, since everything is now technology dependent. And definitely there are always the soft skills that everybody always needs in terms of empathy for leaders and leadership skills and social influence. So everything is becoming more and more cross-functional. So you don't have a manager who can perform one aspect of the business. A manager needs to understand multiple aspects within the business, be it financial, be it marketing, be it sales and other operational skills, etc., that might be required. So these are more and more in-demand skills within the future in every aspect of any business. But moving forward in the accounting and financial skills outlook, so people are also shifting their hiring trends. So even let's say auditing firms, they are looking for someone who is more savvy and adept in technology and data analytics. They need people to understand cybersecurity, IT governance, and information systems, organization control, engagement. So there's a lot of skills that are required, be it in accounting firms, auditing firms, big, I don't know, conglomerates, distribution fields, oil and gas industries, banking. Every aspect of the business, as we mentioned earlier, they don't need people who have like a specific set of skills only. They need a multidisciplinary aspect. And of course, the higher order skills always required are critical thinking, problem solving, and most of all, research. So they need people who can understand, read data, find data, source data, and come up with solutions, not just apply processes as they go. So management, accounting, and finance career, as we know, history teaches us to be adaptable. So if we look back in history, when the first transportation device was created, it was the hype, it was the trend, it was like something from the future. And now look where the car industry is. Look at the phones. Previously, people who had phones were probably only rich people, and now everybody has a phone in their pocket. When the computer first emerges in the late 1900s or early 2000s in some countries, perhaps it was like, oh my God, it's as if it was an alien technology. And now we have the VR and virtual reality with AI and everything. So we need to adapt and learn how to use all these new features and functions. And the same goes in every profession. So there would be new skills required, new functions required, new regulations, new information systems, operating systems, etc. We need to be adaptable, and we need to learn all these emerging factors and how to adapt to them. An example in the accounting and finance career evolution, I don't know, previously accountants were at some point merely bookkeepers, and then they developed into becoming accountants. So it's now not only about bookkeeping anymore, there's more to the function. Then they moved into becoming auditors, where they not only audit the financial aspects of a business, they audit the financial aspects, the operational aspects, the quality aspects, etc. Then there were the management accountants who assumed even bigger roles, even moving into becoming CEOs, CFOs of certain organization, to become an actual business partner within an organization and not just an employee. So let's zoom into the management accountant role itself. So now we definitely have the auditors, who are the public accountants or who actually work in the public accounting field, external auditing. And we have the people working inside the organization who have to design processes, financial models, strategies, etc. They need to make sure they implement them, understand them, and know how to implement them, how to use the resources available to implement all these designed strategies and processes. They need to manage them, govern them, make sure they can be monitored, and especially they can be reported, and how they will be reported, what metrics are going to be used. So technical accounting provides the depth, and business operation breadth. So management accounting is someone who is able to actually make an informed business decision based on knowledgeable, I'd say based on knowledge of data and analytical skills, and especially they have a certain standard of ethics that they abide with. So it's not only about knowledge, it's also about ethics. All right. So what skills do management accountant of the future require? So when we say management accountants, I just want to be clear. This is not restricted to accountants. Management accountants are managers. They are decision makers. They are business partners. So they don't have to be accountants. You can be a sales manager with absolutely no background in actual accounting. You can become a management accountant. It's about basic knowledge, some in-depth knowledge maybe in certain accounting processes and functions, but it's more about drawing business decisions. So you need to have a good business acumen. You need to understand the strategy of the company, its mission, its vision, how it's going to be changing, what you need to actually put into it. You need to be tech savvy for sure. You need to understand all the available information systems, I want to say tools that you can use, whether to monitor, implement, or actually report these decisions and how they are moving forward in the future. So you need to be, you need to have good communication. I mean, we mentioned earlier that there's a lot of demand for remote work, and we all know that written communication can be easily misinterpreted or misunderstood because it's very different from verbal communication. You cannot specify the tone that you're talking within a verbal communication. So there's a stringent requirement of proper verbal communication, especially when it's related to technical aspects of the business. So definitely creativity, data analytics, all these are skills and capabilities that are required for future managers, if we want to say, not simply management accountants. So in the past years, it has been truly realized by most employers and most organizations and most societies that there's a huge skills gap in the academic graduating professional and the actual operating and the skills required from an operating professional. So based on this statistic, for example, you can see that the skills possessed as per employers, the skills possessed from a graduating candidate are 14%, and 77 have required lack in the needed skills. So also, especially in leadership. So in planning and budgeting and forecasting also. So there's a 30%, I wouldn't say a gap, so 30% of the graduated professionals have certain knowledge in planning and budgeting and forecasting, but 81% don't have what skills are exactly needed. And the same goes in strategic thinking and execution. So we do learn a lot, and it's a necessary foundation to have the academic background, but it's still wanty. It does not truly prepare us for what is necessary and required in the job market itself. So based on employer research, college curriculums do not cover in-depth critical skills needed. So they provide you with the necessary foundations, a lot of knowledge, a lot of skills knowledge, but not critical in-depth knowledge of these skills. 90% of organizations are having a hard time hiring. Why? Because a lot of people can't get through the interview demonstrating the necessary required skills. So this is why we can move into the professional certifications and how they can bridge this gap. This is why people need and employers seek professional certifications. So what does a candidate benefit from earning a professional certification? Well, first, it develops your skills. Atop everything you would have learned academically, and even with some experience, if you did not receive the proper guidance in certain aspects, a certification can develop these skills for you. They would give you an increased earning potential. We will see why. Because it's something that would make you more performant. It will help you advance your career. It will teach you a thing or two about leadership as well to increase your potential of promotion or career change, etc. It will help you develop and better advance your emotional intelligence. And one of the foremost, if you want, desirable criteria in the international certifications is its global recognitions. So holding a certification makes you immediately globally recognized. Yes, there are certain universities that also are globally recognized, but every society, especially, for example, the IMA, who's delivering the certifications for the CMA and the FMAA, and Mr. Rabie will explain it a little bit shortly, it does present this global recognition. So you took the certification, you had these benefits, but what does it show an employer when you hold a certification? It shows that you have this enhanced expertise in the field, in the skills required. It shows that you can assure quality. So you're knowledgeable about quality assurance, the processes required to ensure quality and sustainability also as well. It definitely tells them that you have credibility and trust, because as we're going to explain later, certification programs do require a certain level of commitment and a certain level of effort to be put into it. And if you're willing to put that effort into earning your certification, it does say a thing or two about your professional commitment as well, and development and growth and your compliance and risk mitigation. And especially, it will give you a competitive advantage. Now, I know from personal experience, even everybody applies to a lot of job when they're trying to switch a career or when they're just launching into a career, and every employer receives hundreds and hundreds of applicants for every job. So what gives one an edge for the other? Definitely, most employers are recruiting character. They are recruiting not specific skills, because now almost everyone understands that the learning of the skills in the academia is not really what is needed on the job market. So there's a lot they're recruiting for, but what would make or break a difference between one candidate or the other? It will probably be the certification itself. So why? Because to earn a credential or a certification, you have to meet a certain educational requirement and possibly even an experience requirement as well. There's a rigorous exam that you need to prepare for and pass. And this is why a certification is very important and different from any other kind of certificate that you might acquire. And the employers know that, because other certificates, you just take a course, you go through a quiz, you earn that certificate. Some employers don't feel that that brings the level of learning they are hoping from a candidate. So a certification exam is quite a known fact that it filters the worthy to hold the certification or not. And more importantly, there's a commitment to continuing education. So not only you will have learned the necessary applied skills that you need in the job market, but also it will tell an employer that you're someone who's committed to continuously update your knowledge and skills by maintaining your certification, which is a certification maintenance requirement as well. So in a simple, just comparative analysis, today we are talking about two main certifications, the CMA, Certified Management Accountant, and the FMAA, or Financial and Managerial Accounting Associate. So there are a few differences within the two certifications. The CMA, for example, as you can see in the focus areas, it has a specific set of topics that it covers in terms of managerial reporting, management decisions, financial statement analysis, etc. So it does cover some in-depth knowledge of accounting and finance principles and how they apply in managerial decisions, and how to actually strategize using this knowledge and data. While the FMAA does cover some of these topics as well, but in a slightly less depth than the previous. Also, if you're hoping for the CMA, for example, it's definitely for professionals aiming to strengthen, move forward in their career, etc. The FMAA is more accessible to less experienced candidates, fresh graduates, university students, almost graduating or recently graduated, etc. So one provides more depth. It also requires a little bit more experience. We're going to see in the following slides a little bit, but both will prepare you to a management role by providing you the necessary knowledge in terms of financial and accounting knowledge, how to analyze financial data and drive business decisions accordingly. So the CMA, for example, is a two-part certification. Every part has a 4-hour exam. Mr. Rabie will be explaining a little bit later the details on those. It has exam windows, for example, to sit for your exam. Every part requires a stringent number of preparation hours between preparation course with instructors perhaps, or just self-paced study hours. For example, part 1 requires somewhere that can amount to about 170 total hours of preparation, while part 2 is more application and less theories. It requires a little bit less, but nonetheless, they do require over 100 to 120 hours of preparation each, while the FMAA requires a little less amount, but not negligible. It's a considerable 50 to 60 hours of study and preparation to actually pass the exam. And as I mentioned earlier, this commitment to continuous education, to maintain a CMA certification, once you acquire it, you require 30 hours of continuous education points on a yearly basis, and 2 hours of these must be in ethics. And while the FMAA requires 15 hours of updated knowledge every year, while one of these hours is related to ethics. So the Certified Management Accountant, the CMA, what does it present? As we mentioned, it presents recognition and value. It has the global recognition, which Mr. Rabie will be explaining in a bit. The technical competencies acquired through a CMA exam and CMA exam preparation. The syllabi of the CMA is a little bit more rigorous than the FMAA. It's one of the most rigorous management, accounting, and financial syllabi in the world, I would presume. And it also demonstrates your worth. For example, statistically, US-based CMAs earn 28% more in total median compensation, so than the same people in the same job that do not hold a CMA. And globally, CMAs earn 50% more in total median compensation. So holding a certification guarantees better jobs, better job performance, higher promotions, bigger career changes, etc., etc. Why? What do CMAs do on the job? The CMA, so a certified management accountant, whether he's a sales manager or I don't know, an accounting manager, a financial controller, whatever your role in the organization, if you're a CMA applying your knowledge and learned skills and theories from the certified management accountant preparation or the financial managerial accountant preparation, you can prepare and analyze financial data to support business decisions. So we've all heard about forecasts and budgets, but yes, some managers just do their forecasts based on assumptions, based on historical data, but there's a science in properly doing a forecast based on actual data, not only historical data, but also market study, market data, existing resources within the company. There's a lot to consider when preparing a scientifically proper forecast and budget, for example. You can evaluate the capital investments of the company if you're a financial controller of the company. You can manage the working capital. You can analyze financing alternatives. You can identify risks in finances and processes as well. You can measure the performance of business segments, business decisions, products, services, customers, etc. So a management accountant does a lot within an organization, and not only he does it, I don't know, by guessing or by assumptions. It's done by exact science, if I may say so. So to become a CMA, there's a few steps that you need to go through. So you need to apply to take your CMA exam. You need to study for your exam, whether at your own pace or with the support of a course provider such as Morgan International. You need to schedule your exam after your preparation, and you need to pass it. You need to pass both years of the exam, and both parts of the exam, one after the other. And after you've passed the exams, you need to also ensure that you have 2 years of work experience, or if you haven't yet earned a bachelor's degree, you must ensure you have a bachelor's degree, and you will earn your title as a certification. So you will become Charles Abou Saab, CMA, which will say words about you just with 3 letters next to your name in any social profile, resume, etc. So the education requirement for the CMA is you must have a bachelor's degree. If you don't hold a bachelor's degree, you can have a professional certification. There's a list of approved certifications on the IMA website that you can check. And if you don't already have the bachelor's degree, but you're in the process of acquiring, you have 7 years to actually complete the bachelor's degree, the experience requirement after you actually go through your preparation course and go through your exams to earn your certification. So it needs 2 years of experience in management accounting or a financial management field. You can complete that within the 7 years after you pass your exam, and you will need a continuous part-time position of 20 hours per week instead of a full-time job, but it will double up the time experience requirement, and you have to pass both exams. So before we go through everything of this process, I'm going to give the floor to my colleague, Mr. Rabie Ibrahim, to introduce to you the Institute of Management Accountants and give you a little bit of insights on the value of becoming part of this community, and a few insights on the exams for the certifications themselves. Rabie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you for presenting, and thank you for giving those insightful information to the attendees. This is a big number of attendees that are attending a very important session for a topic that everybody search for. Thank you for inviting me to this session. As Charles mentioned before, I am Rabie Ibrahim. I'm the Business Development Manager and Relationship Manager at IMA, and I work closely with the corporates, with institutes like our platinum partner, Morgan International, as well as association and governments. So what is the IMA? The IMA is the Institute of Management Accountant. As I mentioned before, it's a leading association dedicated to 3 things: developing the profession of accounting and finance, certifying accounting and finance professionals with certifications like the FMAA and the CMA, and connecting the professionals during events, webinars, seminars. The connection of those events usually happens in different countries all around the world. We have a network of 140,000 members, and we have around 300 chapter members who are volunteers that they promote the IMA and they support the IMA members. We have global offices all around the world. I'm talking to you from Dubai, which is the regional office covering the whole Middle East and the MENA region. Also, the CMA, the IMA provides certifications that covers the topics that Charles already spoke about that are needed skills in the market, and the recruiters in the market search for those planning, budgeting, business reporting, decision analysis, and risk management skills. So one of the certifications that I have mentioned earlier is the CMA. The CMA is the Certified Management Accountant. This certification has been in the market for more than 45 years, making it a benchmark between the professional certifications that puts you and your career on a different level. The CMA studying hours is around 170 hours. It covers 12 topics. It covers the first part of the CMA is mainly planning, financial planning, performance, and analytics. It's mainly auditing and accounting. It speaks about external financial reporting decisions, planning, budgeting, and forecasting, performance measurement, cost management, internal controls, and technology and analytics. And this technology and analytics was introduced recently because also it was mentioned in this webinar that you need to have technological skills. You need to know how to use the tools. It is not anymore an accounting job where you have to do reporting only. No, you have to do all what has been mentioned in part two, and also we'll go to part one or part two, where it covers also part two covers strategic financial management, which is mainly financial. Part two is studying hours are 130 hours. It covers financial statement analysis, corporate finance, decision analysis, risk management, investment decisions, and professional ethics, because those are the topics also recruiters search for when they want to hire someone or they want to raise or give promotion to someone within their own team. So as I said, the CMA also Charles mentioned the same. It is an important certification. The CMA is a certification that puts you on another level in your career. You will see significant improvement in your salary, in your skills, in the job opportunities that open for you. It is 4 hours exams, like 100 multiple choice questions and 2 essay questions. You have to score 360 out of 500 to pass the exam. It is not an easy certification, but it is definitely a professional certification that you need to advance in your career. Here we speak about the FMAA, the Financial Managerial Accounting Associate. To tell you the story about this certification and why we found it, there is definitely a gap between uh, graduation and the job market. And we found the CMA to fill this gap because people are not ready to sit to be in the working in the work market, and they are not ready to perform what they have learned during university. That's why we found the CMA. Then we found that there is a gap between undergraduates or fresh graduates and the CMA certification or any other professional certification. And some course providers started doing a finance for non-finance certification. So we thought, why won't we do this certification and to be backed from an association like an IMA? Mainly, the FMAA is a foundational certification. It teaches you topics that are similar to accounting 101, It focuses mainly on the foundation in the financial and managerial accounting, and it makes you understand the financial statements, the cost behavior, the budgeting techniques. It is very flexible. We have the upcoming exam windows in September. We had one in March as well and one in June. It is very flexible. Uh, and the next year, it might be more flexible. It might be on demand. It might be like six exam windows per year. We still don't know because this is a new certification. It started at the beginning of this year, so it might be more flexible. And the people that we saw that are pursuing the certifications are undergraduates, fresh graduates, people that want to change their career, people that are looking to advance in their career. I'll give you live examples. We have business owners that are doing the FMAA because they don't know how to read the financial statement. They don't know how to do P&L, so they wanted to do the FMAA to know the basics in accounting. We have people that want to do career shift from marketing to accounting that pursue the FMAA and they pass. We have people that are, as I mentioned, undergraduates. We have people that they want to do a professional certification. They want to have a credential next to their name, so they are doing the FMAA. We have people that are in position and they want to take director's position and they need this accounting and finance knowledge, so they are doing the FMAA. So it is a certification that broaden your accounting and finance skills and knowledge. Those are the topics of the FMAA. They are similar but different in depth when it comes to the CMA. So when we are talking about the topics of the FMAA, it mentions general accounting and financial management, financial statement preparation analysis, planning and budgeting, cost management and performance metrics, professional ethics. Those topics are general. They are not in depth as much as the CMA. It teaches you overview, or if you want what is needed to know the basics and the fundamental of accounting and finance. The FMAA exam is made up of 80 multiple choice questions where you have to score 200 out of 300. You are on mute, Charles.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Rabia. Thank you so much for this section. Hopefully, it will have clarified a lot for you guys. So, moving forward, there's this the section where we introduce you how to prepare for this CMA exam or the FMAA exam later on. So, as a course provider, Morgan International is as mentioned by Mr. Rabia already, also is an IMA Platinum course provider. We also provide through Becker Professional Education the study material for a CMA preparation. So basically, Becker was our selection because so far, as if you research it, Becker has already graduated over 1 million candidates who used Becker material to prepare for the CMA exam. And the top 100 firms or accounting firms in the world actually rely on Becker to educate their staff, upskill them, and help them earn additional certifications. And Becker is also a strategic partner of the IMA. So the Becker CMA exam review experience, it definitely has an updated content. So let me elaborate a bit on the updated content thing. This is one of the key advantages that certifications or certification programs hold, because as important as academic curriculums are, they usually go through a stringent process of update and approval with the internationally recognized academic societies. So sometimes it would take 2, 3, 4 years before a university can actually update their syllabus. So a lot can happen within 3 to 4 years, but certifications programs are updated on the go as soon as any new technology emerges. Now most of the certification programs include something related to AI within them. As soon as Tableau, Google Sheets was introduced, certifications that require data analytics and data management introduce these into their curriculums before universities actually introduce those into the original academic syllabus. So updated content is a definite plus for certification programs. Personalized learning experience. Becker has introduced an AI technology for like, I don't know, maybe 15 or 16 years ago into their preparation platforms, where this AI actually studies your response patterns, identifies where you have weaknesses, what content you're not usually responding well with, and it continuously tests you on that content to strengthen you within that part. So it's an intuitive user experience. We can demonstrate the content at some point, but it is a very intuitive platform, and it's an industry-leading instruction with Becker instructors who have pre-recorded bite-sized videos explaining every topic of a certification, and they are certainly certified and subject matter experts in the certification blueprint content. Okay. With the FMAA exam, we also prepare it with PRC, Powers Resource Corporation, which is one of the leading organizations in partnership with the IMA to prepare the blueprint exam for the FMAA certification itself. Now, the PRC content is available for the FMAA, whether in English or in Arabic. It does have the instructor-led lectures with Morgan International. We deliver the FMAA in live classes in certain locations or live online. So wherever you are, you can join such classes. We do offer technical coaching and support in terms of the navigation of your certification, exam registration, etc. And we do offer flexible installment plans where needed. And the course package you receive contains an ebook atop the printed textbook. It does have a question bank that you can go through, a mock exam. You get 18-month access to that study material, digital study material. And there's also a one-time 6-month extension or renewal of the access in case you didn't feel ready within the first 18 months, which you should be. But if for whatever reason circumstances occurred that didn't make you ready, you can extend that. And there's the printed textbooks as well. So a quick brief about Morgan International. We have been in the exam preparation course business for over the last 26 years. We have a pool of over 350 subject matter expert instructors on the different certifications we provide, whether it's Becker, Powers Resource Corporation, Schwezer and SHRM or ASCM on other certifications. We have leading partnerships in the certification industry. We operate in over 28 locations across the globe, from the Far East all the way to North America, across Europe, GCC, Middle East, and North Africa. We have successfully, proudly graduated over 150,000 certification holders across the years, and we have helped upskill employees for over 500 organizations across the globe. We offer professional certification courses and diplomas, industry-specific workshops, like specific soft skills workshops or technical targeted workshops. We offer continuous professional educations where needed, and we do offer in-house trainings for corporations. Our portfolio is quite diverse, from accounting and finance with the CMA, FMAA mentioned today, along other certifications like the CPA, the CFA. I saw a question relating to the CFA, which I will answer shortly. We offer certifications in human resource, supply chain, digital marketing, and more with ESG and upcoming data analytics, etc. These are some of the leading partnerships we have, the organizations that rely on us to upskill their employees. If you look at those, depending on your region, you might recognize a few of the names, especially some of the big fours, the accounting and auditing field, a lot of companies in the oil industry, telecommunication industry, banking industry, finance, investment fields, and other marketing and supply chain also industries. So A quick heads up, our course dates we have for the CMA live online classes. We have classes starting on September 6th and another one starting on September 9th. And if you're interested in the FMAA, we have online classes starting on July 29th. So that's upcoming shortly. The surprise discounts we're talking about is that we are offering a 15% discount for any attendee of this webinar who is willing to register for the CMA course from wherever location you are. And if you contact your local office, you will also be receiving a special discount on the FMAA registration if that's what you're hoping for. And if you are in the UAE or KSA, first of all, we have a partnership with Tabi, which might provide you installment plans on credit card payments. And also it's worth noting that the CMA and FMAA credentials in Saudi Arabia are also sponsored by Hadaf. So that's a huge push for you to use to upskill yourself, increase your potential, open up the doors for the job market, whether within your same organization or cross-organizational. And that's a very important opportunity for everyone to seize. This is a list of our local offices available for you. So whether you're in UAE, Jordan, Beirut, Qatar, KSA, India, Europe, Bahrain, etc. There's a list. You will have a link to the recording of this session shortly within the next 48 hours, I presume. So you will be able to refer to either city you would like to refer to. So now is the time where we open the floor for some questions if you want. Just looking at your questions, I had one of the question in the chat that is asking about how the CMA can add value to a CFA, for example. Well, yes, a CMA itself, despite whatever other certification you might hold, will definitely add value because it will teach you aspects that might not have been tackled in the other certification as well. And as important as the CFA is, which is one of the star certifications worldwide, and we do also offer preparation courses for the CFA, the CMA, as much as the CFA is into investments, portfolio management, financial analytics, etc. The CMA is more about, as we mentioned earlier, management accounting, reading financial statements, balance sheet, etc., and driving business decisions accordingly to that. Rabie, do you have any insights to add on this question in particular?
Charles, what you have mentioned is already enough, but I just want also to add one thing. It is like any other certification. It is what you want to do, where do you want your career to go, and where do you see yourself. Like if someone sees themselves in the CFA as a financial analyst, it's different than managerial accounting. So it is different. The thing is that CMA is the only certification that teaches you managerial accounting. So definitely the basic accounting will be already done with the CFA. You will learn the managerial accounting skills.
Thank you, Rabia. So one of the other questions also asking about the difference between CFM and FMAA. Not sure if by CFM you mean Certified Financial Manager, but if that's the case, it's pretty much the same as compared to the CFA itself, if that's the certification you mean. So, but between the CFM and FMAA itself, so pretty much I wouldn't say the same exact answer would apply, but it's pretty much similar. So the CFM is a financial manager. So you will learn specifically about financial management. So you would learn about equity management. You would learn about fixed income, perhaps. Let me say about equity and investments, derivatives, etc. That's what you learn in the financial management section. While, as Mr. Rabia mentioned earlier, in the FMAA, there are specific topics about financial management, financial analysis, reporting, and decision making. That's what you learn with the FMAA. So they might be complementary certifications. If you consider undergoing both, I would never recommend to undergo one certification atop the other unless they are exactly the same. But most certification would offer you additional knowledge. And what we are offering with the FMAA in particular is the foundational knowledge in accounting and finance, in reading financial reports and understanding how to make business decisions based on this financial data. All right. Another question in the chat: if the FMAA advances a career of someone with 4 years experience in accounting, and is it recognized in the Middle East? Rabia?
Yes, Charles. Uh, for the FMAA, usually we are recommending it for people who want knowledge on the accounting and finance. For someone who has been an accountant for 4 years as an accountant, it wouldn't be that it wouldn't add much to your experience or to your skills. If you see, I don't, if I'm not mistaken, Morgan will have an assessment to see where you fit in the CMA or in the FMAA. So you can do this assessment and see yourself if the FMAA is not the certification that will add something to you. The CMA definitely will be.
Thank you, Rabia. And yes, to add to what you mentioned, what we do is a pre-evaluation for the candidate. So based on your current credentials, your experience, and where you aspire to be and gain with the certification, we would be able to recommend whether an FMAA would be more suitable than a CMA or vice versa. Now, just to add one thing to what Rabia mentioned, yes, with 4 years experience as an accountant, you might already know most of what you will be taught within the FMAA. But if you choose to go for FMAA because you think it would be perhaps easier than a CMA, just because you need the title, and that's one of the reasons why the FMAA was devised, you can actually go for it. But if you really want to grow and move forward with more learnings and more skills for your function, a CMA might be more suitable. So it will depend on where you're aspiring to go and how you're aspiring to move forward. So if you guys will allow me for a second, I'm going to launch a quick poll, which will show on your screens. Based on everything that we went through today, it's just for you to actually tell us which one you feel more comfortable with, be it the CMA or the FMAA. And what we will do is, after this webinar, apart from the recording of this entire session that you will receive, we will also provide you a sample 30-minute video from a lecture, whether it's a CMA or FMAA, so whichever one you would prefer. Please do let us know in the poll that is now on your screens. If you don't see it, look at the tabs below. One of them would be entitled poll. Click it, and based on your selection, we will be providing you with this 30-minute sample video. Okay? So I'm going to keep the poll running for a minute or two. Thank you, everyone, for attending. I hope we brought enough information for you to help you choose whether to go for certifications and which certification you would want to go for. And unless you have any further questions, I will be wrapping up this poll in a minute. Thanking you, Mr. Rabia, for your support on this. Thanking the IMA always for its constant support in driving the management and financial professions forward throughout the years.
Thank you so much, Charles. I'm seeing also now the poll. It's very insightful for us also as IMA to see the numbers and what they prefer. And this also depends on the people that are on the session. This is very insightful. Thank you so much again for your contribution and your support to the IMA Association. And I would like to thank everyone who took time to attend this webinar. Hope it was beneficial. And I encourage you to do a professional certification because the bachelor degree is not enough. And this professional certification, whether a CMA or FMAA, needs dedication and hard work.
Thank you. Rabia, if I may add just one last question for you. We have an inquiry. I'm pretty sure you are in a better fit position to answer, but we do have the answer for that. Just to clarify, someone is asking if a bachelor's degree from USG is accredited by the CMA. I think that answer is not specifically about that bachelor's degree itself, but about the accredited universities from Lebanon or from most of the region. If you could guide the candidates through that
Yes, definitely.
inquiry.
There is one thing to highlight. The CMA needs a bachelor degree. However, the FMAA doesn't need a bachelor degree. The CMA universities that are accredited are listed in the CMA handbook. If you search for it online, you will find it, and you can find your certification. And USG is definitely one of the universities that is accredited by the IMA. And also, there is one more thing. If you want to do the CMA and you are undergraduate, you can pass both exams and you have a grace period of 7 years to complete 2 years of experience to get the title of the CMA and to get the certification.
Thank you so much, Rabia, for this clarification. And to answer one last question, to actually further answer one of the last questions we had about the recognition of the FMAA in the Middle East. As explained earlier, the IMA is a globally recognized institution. So yes, the FMAA is recognizable in the Middle East, in the Gulf area, the North Africa region, Europe, America, wherever you are. The certification by the Institute of Management Accountant is certainly globally recognized. So thank you so much, everyone, for attending. You will all be receiving, as I mentioned, the link to the recording of this lecture for you to review. Please note that it will have a certain expiry period, so it will not remain forever. Apologies to that, but regretfully, it's the case. And for you attendees, a list of your names will be shared with your corresponding cities' locations, and you are entitled to the mentioned discounts, be it whether on the CMA or the FMAA, once you get in touch with your local Morgan office. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you all again.
Thank you.